Once upon a time, in a perfectly ordinary house, on a perfectly ordinary street called Privet Drive, lived a not-so-ordinary boy named Harry Potter. For 10 long years, Harry lived with his aunt, uncle, and cousin the Dursleys who weren't very nice to him at all. They made him live in a dusty little cupboard under the stairs and treated him like he was a nuisance. Harry thought he was just a normal, slightly unlucky boy with a strange lightning bolt scar on his forehead being the only interesting thing about him. He was told his parents had died in a car crash, and that was that. But on his 11th birthday, everything changed. A giant man with a bushy beard and kind, beetle-black eyes, named Rubeus Hagrid, burst into their lives with a crash and a bang. He brought with him a squashed birthday cake and some astonishing news. "Harry," he boomed, "you're a wizard!" Harry was gobsmacked. A wizard. It sounded impossible, but Hagrid explained everything. His parents hadn't died in a car crash. They were a famous witch and wizard, and they were defeated by the most evil wizard of all time, When Voldemort tried to use a terrible curse on baby Harry, something amazing happened. The curse backfired, leaving Voldemort weak and powerless, and leaving Harry with just that lightning scar. Hagrid had come to take Harry away from the Dursleys and bring him where he truly belonged. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It was a secret, magical castle where young witches and wizards went to learn magic. Before they could go, they needed to get his school supplies. Hagrid took Harry to a hidden, bustling street in London called Diagon Alley. It was a wonderland. There were shops selling bubbling potions, flying broomsticks, and pointy wizard hats. Harry got his own Wand. That chose him, and a beautiful, snowy owl he named Harry. Finally, the day came for Harry to go to Hogwarts. He went to King's Cross Station and found the secret platform 9 3/4. He ran straight at a solid brick wall, and, instead of crashing, he passed right through onto a platform where a magnificent scarlet steam train, the Hogwarts Express, was waiting. On the train, he met 2 people who would become his best friends forever. The first was Ron Weasley, a boy with bright red hair and a cheerful, funny personality. The second was Hermione Granger, a girl with bushy brown hair and the cleverest mind you could imagine. She knew almost every spell in the book before she even got to school. When they arrived at Hogwarts, it was more incredible than anything Harry had ever dreamed of. It was a huge castle with towering turrets, moving staircases, and ghosts who floated through the walls. The first thing they had to do was the sorting ceremony. A magical hat, called the Sorting Hat, was placed on each new student's head, and it would shout out which of the 4 schoolhouses they belonged to: Gryffindor, for the brave and daring; Hufflepuff, for the kind and loyal; Ravenclaw, for the wise and witty; or Slytherin, for the ambitious and cunning. The hat thought for a moment on Harry's head, but when it considered Slytherin, Harry thought, not Slytherin. And so, the hat yelled, "Gryffindor!" Harry was thrilled to be in the same house as his new friend, Ron. And soon after, Hermione joined them in Gryffindor too. Life at Hogwarts was an adventure. They had classes like potions with the stern Professor Snape, who seemed to dislike Harry from the very start. They learned to turn animals into water goblets in Transfiguration with the wise Professor McGonagall. And most excitingly, they learned to fly on broomsticks. Harry discovered he was a natural. He was so good that he was made the seeker for the Gryffindor Quidditch team, a magical sport played on flying brooms. He was the youngest player in a century. But as the school year went on, Harry, Ron, and Hermione noticed something strange was happening. They overheard Professor Snape talking about a 3-headed dog, and they discovered that this massive creature was guarding a trap door on the forbidden 3rd floor. They started to investigate, believing that Snape was trying to steal whatever the dog was guarding. Through their cleverness and bravery, they figured out that the hidden object was the Philosopher's Stone, a magical stone that could grant eternal life. They were convinced Snape was trying to steal it for the evil Lord Voldemort, so he could return to power. The 3 friends knew they had to stop him. One night, they decided to go past the three-headed dog themselves. It was a terrifying journey through a series of magical traps set by the Hogwarts professors. They had to escape a plant with wriggling tentacles, catch a flying key among 100 others, and win a giant, life-size game of wizard's chess, which Ron won with incredible bravery. Finally, Harry reached the last chamber alone. But it wasn't Professor Snape he found standing there. It was the timid, stuttering Professor Quirrell, their defense against the dark arts teacher. And on the back of Quirrell's head, hidden under his turban, was a pale, terrifying face, was Lord Voldemort, sharing Quirrell's body. Voldemort wanted the stone to create a new body for himself. He tried to force Harry to get the stone from a magical mirror, but the mirror only gave the stone to Harry because Harry wanted to find it, not use it. Voldemort, furious, ordered Quirrell to attack Harry. But when Quirrell touched Harry, his skin burned and turned to ash. Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts, later explained that Harry was protected by his mother's love, which lived on in his very skin. It was a magic Voldemort could not understand or touch. Harry fainted from the struggle, but Dumbledore arrived just in time to save him. When Harry woke up, he was in the hospital wing. Dumbledore explained everything. The power of his mother's love, the secrets of the Philosopher's Stone, and how his bravery had saved the day. At the end of year feast, Gryffindor was awarded extra house points for the courage and friendship shown by Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They won the House Cup. For the first time in his life, Harry felt like he had a real home and a real family. He knew more adventures awaited, but for now, he was just happy to be Harry, the boy who lived at home at Hogwarts. Thank you so much for joining us on this magical journey. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'll see you next time.